Bernice asked kind of a wider question around that and people who are in these positions of power, and said, what do the panel think about representation in more senior roles in sport, and representation of black managers in football and sports boards? Is that representation there? What can be done? I don't know if you want to have a crack at that, Maggie.
Do you know what, the percentage of coaches or people in positions that are decision makers is very, very small within the black and minority community. It's really small. So we're talking about just the athletes themselves and people participating. We need to do some work on getting people through coaching qualifications, or there's lots of black people in management who don't have to have a sporting background to be on a board for a sporting entity, if that makes sense, because they bring lots of other skills to the table. We've had chief executives of my sport who don't come from sport as a practitioner, but have an understanding of business or have an understanding of a different sport, and they just transfer it across. Now, I had the opportunity to be the head coach where I am now. And there's lots and lots of factors behind it that made me decide I didn't want it. And I'll be the first person to say that, that I doubted my own ability. I think the term is imposter syndrome. That's another one that gets thrown in there, because you don't think you're as good as you are, and it doesn't matter how much people tell you can do this, you don't believe you can do it. And I decided that I knew my qualities were best used at that spot just below the head coach, to be the support up and support down. And I'm quite comfortable in that space at this level, at this performance elite level. Happy to do head coach, anything else, but at this level, no. So I think, to answer it as quickly as I possibly can, there aren't enough black people or people from ethnic minorities with the qualifications to step up to take those big jobs as managers or head coaches to start off with. The governing bodies need to invest more and be direct in their selection of people from minority backgrounds, and make it clear that you want to make sure that you're wanting to be more representative, and accept that there's more work needs to be done with people of colour to give them the strength and the opportunities to take on those big jobs. And believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, and that's it.
Yeah.
Jermaine, Leah, do you have anything else to add on that?
I would say, from the football perspective, that in the Premier League there's one black manager, and that's Patrick Vieira. And there are managers who have the credentials, but there's no trust. Now, Patrick Vieira had to go to America to get any kind of kudos, if you want, and then he moved to France. It did really well. Now he's at Crystal Palace. The journey's a lot longer, and people get tired of that. There needs to be more trust, because, and Dwight York said something a few years ago, people don't trust him because of what he did in his playing years, because he was the party guy. And I think your background, your past does have a huge influence on what happens. So you do need to make sure that you are presenting yourself well, because people are always they will dig deep everywhere they can. And that's what the media do. So you can't hide your past. But I just think that there needs to be more trust. If you don't see people up there, you're not going to aspire, because in your head you're just thinking, well, I can't do it because no one gets the opportunity to do it. Therefore, what is the point of spending your money, spending your time to achieve what you're not going to reap any benefits from? So I think if we see people higher up, the chairman, the this, the that, then people will aspire to get there as well. Like, I would love to do something higher up in football. I look and I don't see I can't do it, because I like to break down these barriers. I just don't have the time just now. That's the truth. But in moving here, I've not been able to pick up a team because COVID happened, blah, blah, blah. But I think you also have to have drive to want it, to be willing to break those barriers as well, and know that you can achieve I think what Maggie's done is amazing. Like, I'd love to hear her whole life story, from the police to the security to the whole netball thing, because that to me is so admirable. That's someone who's broken barriers, who knows who she is, who knows what she wants to do, and has achieved that. And there'll be a whole lot more. And I just like to think that the day I wake up and I'm like, okay, back into football, and this is what I want to do, I will go and I will fight for what I want. And that's because I do have that drive. But I think it would help if I did see people up there, if I saw more than just Patrick Vieira. So, yeah.
Jermaine, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'd say the opportunity, like going back, I know you comment on Patrick Vieira and stuff, but he's a professional, or was a professional, who's got loads of money, can fund these courses and stuff. So going way, way back to the managers who are managing local teams, who are getting maybe £20 a week from their local team just to run that team. I think that giving them sort of managers the opportunity to do these courses, maybe at a discounted rate or even free, giving them the chance to kind of show that they can make it into the Premier League, with the right support, with the right advice, following a role model. So yeah, I think it just goes back to that really. Like, I know we spoke about the cost barrier, and I think that's a massive thing. And I feel like that could actually be one of the main reasons why there are a lot of black managers in the Premier League now, or higher up as well. I know there is the trust and the stereotypes and there's all that as well, but I feel like cost is a big thing.